No. If the game is not current, I think the game holds up to today's standards, in my opinion.
I personally believe, in retrospect, looking back, Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo is actually not that great. The game actually, especially compared to itself, it's not that great.
I disagree completely. I think the Super Nintendo Mario Kart was the best one ever made.
Double Dash might have something to say about that. I think Mario Kart 8 might have something to say about that. I think Mario Kart 64 might have something to say about... Dude, it's not the best one ever made.
Well, I disagree because of the fact that you're talking about Double Dash, you're talking about Double Deuce, all right? And bottom line is all the rest of them, they took a shit on the original version. So, that's my opinion.
No, what they did with the original version was took a piece of shit and molded it and sculpted it into the masterpiece that it is now.
Did you ever even play the first one?
Yes!
Did you...
Wait, have you ever played any of them but the first one?
Yes, I have.
How many?
2. After that.
Which ones?
64 and that was the other one right after that. And I was completely disappointed. Bottom line is just the fact that you could actually do something about the person behind you, as opposed to most e-racing games where all you got to do is just say, wait for that person to bump you and up and mess you up. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. You actually had the chance, a fair chance, to avoid the situation. What do I say? The best way to avoid the situation is to avoid the situation. Okay? So
hang on though.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
The thing is, you can dodge the red shell in all the other games as well. It's not just, even if you could do it in the first one, and I'm not saying you could, I'm not saying you couldn't. You could do it in other versions of the game as well.
Okay, that's cool.
Not just that game.
That's cool, but don't take away my jump maneuver. Don't take away my hop.
I'm not. No, it's there. You can hop.
I don't. Like I said, maybe I haven't played enough Mario.
That's an actual fact. It's fucking there.
Really?
Yeah. How do you think you drift?
Really?
I've seen the Kevin Hart stand-up special too. Okay. How do you think you drift? You drift by jumping and turning at the same time.
No, you drift by shifting in the right position and you slide around the corner. That's how you drift.
Okay, you're talking real life, or are we talking about the game right now? Like, what are you actually talking about?
And in my opinion, Super Nintendo Mario Kart was a combination of the two. So
you didn't shift
talking
anything,
about
though. That's the thing. Dude, they call me DK. You know what that stands for?
Dumb King?
Drift King. Okay?
No, you're not Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. You're not Lil Bow, or who was it? Was it Lil Bow?
It was Lil Bow Wow.
It was, yeah. You ain't Lil Bow Wow, all right?
Look.
All right? You ain't the country guy who went into Tokyo, okay?
What's funny is that guy actually talks like that. His accent is so bad it sounds fake, but he actually talks like that.
Yeah, I know. That was the same little kid from Sling Blade.
I know. I think you're blinded by nostalgia is what I think. Go on. Let's go. Next point.
I think this is an opinion-based matter, and bottom line is the gameplay was still better in all of them. Because I could actually steer to the left and steer to the right without me having to overcompensate and steer back. You hit right on any of the other versions, and you go like this, and then you have to counteract it. Bottom line is the Super Nintendo.
That's inaccurate. I think I hate to keep cutting you off because I know it's annoying as shit.
No, you're good.
It's very annoying, and I hate when people do it to me. But the first Mario Kart, you were a kid and you hadn't been introduced to things like beer yet, is what I think. So as the games have progressed and you've gotten older, I think you're playing these from a slightly different pair of glasses, or maybe even beer goggles, if you will.
First of all, I've had the same prescription for the last 7 years, because I need to get another prescription. But
so, admittedly, your eyes don't work right, even with the corrective lenses that you're wearing.
Yes, and considering this, yeah, I am playing with beer goggles.
I rest my case.
So you spend all your money on beer, so you can't afford to get new glasses.
I can't afford to get new glasses or a new Mario Kart. So, but
dude, I'm just saying they've added. Go ahead, because I'm doing nothing but being rude right now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. That's what you're meant for.
I mean, that's what I do, right? I'm doing what I do best. But go ahead.
Okay. When it came to the gameplay of that first one, dude, it was immaculate because you could have a race so close. Okay, in the new ones, from what I learned, especially in the 64 version, if you're ahead, you're ahead. You're gonna win. There ain't no coming back. There ain't no coming back from that. There ain't no coming back.
It's a really real world.
It's a really real world.
Dude,
there ain't no coming. But in the old one, they had jumps. They had certain specific jumps, and if you knew those jumps, you could hit around the corner and boost ahead of everybody. You could be in almost last place and get to first in a matter of seconds. So the competition was there. And with the newer ones, I feel that they took away the competition. I feel they really did.
Then
That's my
I
opinion.
feel that you have not played anything probably past the Nintendo 64 version, because in any version, if you're behind, the computer actually helps you. It gives you better items. It gives you the bullet bills where you can power through everybody. It gives you the blue shells, which can take down the guy in the lead. The guy in the lead nowadays, and even then, can absolutely lose his first place. Absolutely, it can happen. Because he's a target, he becomes a target. Absolutely. See, the fact that you're giving me that look means you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you're in first place, you're going to get crappier power-ups. You're going to get banana peels. You're going to get green shells. It's a fact.
Stuff that you need to maintain the lead. Okay.
Stuff that you need to help with defense, if you in fact do know that you can hold it behind you. But it's not going to help with the blue shell. There are very rare instances and very rare cases where someone was able to avoid a blue shell. It has happened. I have seen it on YouTube before.
And can you jump in these new versions?
Yes.
There's a hop.
Yes.
There's a hop, a skip, and a jump.
Yes.
Super Mario Kart was the funnest ever made.
So
That's
you're
why
basically
it was
saying you
the
like
best.
it for its simplicity, is what you're saying.
I like it for its fun factor.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
All
like
the
it.
other
I
Mario
like it
Kart
because
games-
I didn't have to think about what I was doing or what tread wheels I was buying or any of that other stuff.
okay.
I wanted to play a simple racing game where I could shoot somebody else, make them spin out.
You can't call it the funnest just because they added things that you don't necessarily agree with. Just because you don't like it don't mean it was the wrong move. Is that fair to say?
That is fair
So
to say.
now while you're like, oh, I just want to pick it up and go. I can understand that. I can respect that. But if you can modify some things and get better traction because you have those different options, a lot of people, by and large, the masses want that. I think it's fun because when you're playing online or playing against a computer or playing couch co-op or whatever, you want to try to have a slight advantage over someone if you can get it.
Okay.
And it starts with the different kind of racer, the different kind of vehicle that you pick. And then you can put on tread, and it might help with like acceleration, just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit.
And I disagree because I disagree because of the fact that bottom line is, whenever you take away my fun factor, all right, I'm not trying to get serious on it. I'm trying to play a game.
You can play it
and have fun. With it.
You can play it and have fun and be serious at the same time.
And also, let me. Can I finish? Can I finish? Ross Perot. All right. Okay. So and also, I don't want those extra advantages because that takes away from seeing who the better racer is.
Yeah.
And that's you want the advantages because you can't race.
Hang on.
Whereas I can.
Okay.
So
hang on.
I like to see who the better racer is.
You don't want to be able to strategize. You want to have fun. You want it to be fun because you lose and you're a loser. Losers, if the people who don't win say, "Oh, it's just a game anyways. It's just for fun anyways."
No.
Well, it's because you're losing. That's why it's just a game, and that's why it's supposed to be for fun because you're losing.
No.
Okay.
Because
look, if we sat here, you could be like, "Hey, you know what? No mods. Out of the box, just boom, just pick your character's cart and you go."
Yeah.
And I would say, all right, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
So we can still do it your way.
Yeah, and I have no problem with that. Like,
But you're acting like it can't be done your way. You literally just said, oh, you got to do all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. I just want to pick it up and play it. Well, you can still do that.
Really?
Yeah. You don't have to put modifications on it. You don't have to change your wheels. You can just be like, if you're going to be Mario, you got to be in Mario's racer. Cool. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. If you're going to be Peach, you have to be in Peach's racer. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Let's go.
Okay.
You can do all that still.
Well, then maybe you know what? Maybe I'm not.
But it's all dependent on the two people agreeing on it, obviously.
Yeah.
So like again, if we were playing couch co-op and you'd be like, hey, no mods, just default. Cool,
Yeah.
let's do just default, see what happens.
Which is cool, but
And
online.
at that point, then now online's different, obviously.
Yeah.
But to be fair, there was no online with Super Nintendo either.
No, they're not here in America.
Not right, and that's
not
what
here
we're-
in America.
that's what we're talking
but
about.
there was in Japan.
Well, if you want to get technical, there was no Super Nintendo online because it was called Super Famicom in Japan. If you want to get technical.
Ooh.
So,
Good.
just saying.
Well said. Well
Thank you.
stated. Well stated.
Thank you.
Well stated.
But the point is, I see what you're saying. I can pick up the game and I can just click a character and I can go and I can have fun. You can do the same thing if you agree on that. Now, obviously, you're not going to get people online most likely to agree with that. But it's the same thing as the original one. Now, all the characters have different attributes and different stats.
Yeah.
So you got your heavies, guys like Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
Bowser, and whatnot. They do certain things better than other characters, but obviously they don't accelerate as quick. But
Yeah.
they might have like a higher top speed, or they're stronger and they can bump you, a smaller character, and you go flying.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I think you guys decide who won. Who won? I say first one's not the best one. He says it is.
Epic gaming battles. Who won?
Who won?